What the heck is going on with Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers? That is the question as we now wake up heading into week 4 of the NFL season with LA 3-0 and looking like the cream of the crop in maybe not only the AFC, but most certainly the AFC West. I think the biggest difference I notice is the confidence and really the composure of Justin Herbert in the fourth quarter. So last year in the fourth quarter of NFL games, Justin Herbert had a 42% passing success rate, basically bottom 10 in the NFL out of all the qualifying quarterbacks that I was able to find. This year, that rate jumps to 63%, number one in the NFL amongst QBs with at least 25 dropbacks in the fourth quarter. I know it's early, but we have a verb for this Chargers team. It's called chargering. It means you melt down in the big moments. That is, again, the opposite of what we have seen so far, where this Chargers team, especially the offense, has made significant strides with their ability to close out games. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does that mean the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl? Not so fast, my friends. However, in the betting markets, right now, Justin Herbert is your third favorite to win MVP, 6-1 over at BetMGM. I wouldn't make that bet right now. I just think the love for guys like Lamar and Josh Allen and even Patrick Mahomes is just so strong. It's going to be really tough to overcome that, and all the value has been evaporated from the market. However, Jim Harbaugh to win Coach of the Year, which is currently plus 650 at BetMGM. Now, that is an intriguing wager because Shane Steichen, who is right now the favorite, deserves to be the favorite. What he's done with Daniel Jones, the overachieving nature of this Colts team so far, I think is certainly noteworthy, but I wouldn't be shocked if Daniel Jones at some point turns into a pumpkin and the Colts regress, whereas this Chargers team, especially defensively, look like a team that will compete not only for the division title, but also in the AFC race as well. So of those two bets, Jim Harbaugh, Coach of the Year, Justin Herbert, MVP, I would lean to the Harbaugh side, but take nothing away from Herbert because he was under duress on Sunday against the Broncos. 36 pressures and 5 sacks, yet this Chargers team was able to score a touchdown to tie the game, get the ball back after a nice stop on defense, and then drive down again to kick the game-winning field goal. So let's go to the tape. I will stop yapping, or I'll keep yapping, but I'll just do it with NFL tape over top of me. The part about this drive that was so impressive. So this is not the game-tying touchdown drive. We are in the fourth quarter. These are all fourth-quarter dropbacks because I think that's noteworthy. But this was a play that set up the big play, which then got the Chargers in the red zone, and then they were able to score the game-tying touchdown. So, again, the Chargers would end up punting on this drive, but I think they saw something on this particular play, which then led to a more explosive version of it on their ensuing drive, which then led to that game-tying touchdown. Very simple formation, 2x2, 4 receivers, Omari and Hampton in the backfield. Looks like man underneath here. Based off of what, again, I'm not an expert in defensive coverages, but based off of what I think the Broncos are playing here, it looks like 2 high safety with man underneath, right? You got man, and then you got this stack formation with 2-man coverage defensive backs over the top. So if that is what the coverage scheme is, unless this middle linebacker is going to be covering Omari and Hampton, which is a mismatch, then you've got this free safety who is responsible for the back out of the backfield. Well, he's 20 yards away from where his man is. Really tough cover. So at the snap, you see both the safeties even drop at the snap. And the one thing I like that Herbert did here, if you watch his eyes right at the snap, he's trying to keep this. I think he knows that this middle linebacker is responsible for everything in the middle here, and it's free safety that's responsible for Hampton out of the backfield. So if you watch him at the snap, Herbert's eyes are down here, trying to keep both of these safeties away from the play. Because then Hampton leaks out, comes back, and watch when Hampton catches the ball, he's at basically the 45-yard line. The safety that's responsible for him is 20 yards away. Again, that's a really tough cover. And Hampton's going to be able to make one guy miss there on the outside, get the first down, and then scoot out of bounds for about a gain of 12 to 15 yards. Easy, high percentage completion for Justin Herbert. And it kind of sets up what you're going to see on the next drive. So there at the snap, Herbert's eyes going to the left. As a quarterback, if you can manipulate the safeties with your eyes, you are going to have significantly more success. Clicks back to the other side, easy throw. Hampton makes the catch. Nice block on the outside. I think that's Keenan Allen. I'm not sure who that receiver is on the outside. Okay, so let's go to the ensuing drive. The Broncos, one of their 5 sacks would come a couple plays later after that play, and the Chargers will be forced to punt. But the Broncos offense, as they did in the entire fourth quarter on Sunday, was completely inept. And the Chargers would get the ball back in good field position. So, hey, looks familiar, right? 2x2 receivers, Hampton in the backfield. Now, in this case, you're seeing a pressure look from the Broncos, right? They're bringing you 6 guys at the front, double mug in the A-gap. And what that's going to do is this safety is going to have to rotate over top. And then the safety who's responsible for Hampton in man coverage is going to be all the way back here, like 25 yards away from where his actual man is responsible. And in this case, Herbert wastes absolutely no time. Watch how quickly Justin Herbert gets the ball to Hampton. I mean, he catches it right at around midfield. The safety responsible for him is at like the 27-yard line. He's over 20 yards away. And the receivers are in perfect blocking position here. 2 receivers for 2 corners. And actually, this one receiver kept running his route. He didn't even see that Hampton got the ball so quick. So again, that leads me to believe that this was just a regular passing play, but Herbert clicked off of it so quick because he knew he had Omari and Hampton for an explosive play down the field for what was essentially a screen pass, just a little swing route. And Herbert, again, watch. You see there's a double mug pressure look here from the Broncos bringing 2 guys into the A-gap. Herbert wastes absolutely no time. Boom. And there's a free blitzer right off the A-gap there. I mean, they only had 5 guys blocking, and they had 6 defensive players rushing. That's the math ain't math in there for the Chargers. And, man, Herbert was getting pummeled all game long. Again, 36 pressures, 5 sacks. Jonathan Cooper had 10 pressures alone. I mean, this entire defensive line for the Broncos, including the guy blitzing right there, 49, they were eating all game long. But watch Hampton. I mean, he makes the catch. There's no one within 10 yards of him when he makes the catch. I mean, this is one of the best backs is certainly coming out of the draft, and he's now, especially with Najee Harris's injury, he's going to be relied upon to be a feature back in the NFL. If you give a guy 10 yards of grass, 1 guy's blocked, you get 1 free safety who's got to come all the way over top. I mean, this is a really, really tough cover for the Broncos. And this was all set up on the prior drive when the Chargers saw, hey, listen, we've got something here with this little swing route out of the backfield to Hampton. All right, so now let's just show you Justin Herbert being great. This is the game-tying touchdown to Keenan Allen. And Allen starts out in the backfield. How about that? You got McConkey in the slot here. I noticed that they didn't run a lot of tight formations in the game, but this was one where they kind of gave you a weird look where Allen starts out in the backfield and then comes out wide, and this essentially confirms man coverage. And you've got a single high look. And this is just, again, Justin Herbert was under duress all game long. Look at that. The left guard, I don't know who that is at left guard. Watch the left guard just get absolutely worked. I think that's John Franklin Myers. I mean, he comes right in. It's like a turnstile. Basically, the Chargers' offensive line is Joe Alton 4 turnstiles right now. Pipkins was brutal, gave up 9 pressures in the game. The interior is very soft. And this is what I mean when I say very soft. Watch this defensive tackle cut right through. I mean, boom, he is in the backfield. And Herbert, I'll be honest, Herbert's in a torture chamber right here. How the heck does the Chargers score a touchdown in the back corner of the end zone? Keenan Allen right now is running a deep in route, and Justin Herbert has 2 defensive linemen right on his hip, and then another one right off the other side in front of him. But these are the plays. And I guess 77's doing some yoga there. That looks like frog position for number 77. Herbert gets out of it, escapes, runs right past the offensive lineman who failed him on that play. And then just beautiful eye contact, I guess, or it's just instinctual communication by Keenan Allen. He was running the deep over, peels back to the other side of the field. Justin Herbert running to his left, throwing across his body to his right, an absolute dime. Keenan Allen, game-tying touchdown. Watch it from the tight. Again, you can really see 99 here. I think that's Franklin Myers. I think. I'm not sure about, no, 96 is Franklin Myers. 99 might be DJ Jones. Whoever it is, they really did a poor job. This guard right here really did a poor job of blocking. I mean, 99 is right in the backfield. Nice little sidestep. But Herbert, again, making plays, man. Look at that. That is a tough play. That is the toughest. Look at this. How the heck does Justin Herbert get away from this? I have no idea. You tell me a year ago, 2 years ago, Justin Herbert's getting sacked here. It just feels like the Chargers have a little bit of mojo in their corner because Justin Herbert is making incredible plays like this. Somehow escapes this. And then when you are running to your left, you have to turn your entire body to the right. By the way, there's another defender right in his grill. Look at that. Look at that release point and throw from Justin Herbert with a hand in his face, both feet off the ground, and it is right on the money. That's Mahomes-like. That is MVP-like stuff from Justin Herbert. Incredible. Honestly, I think you just have to be impressed. I was wrong about this Chargers team before the season started. I did not think they had the clutch gene to them, and they would fold in situations like this. Why? Because that's been the Chargers' MO as long as I've covered the NFL in this capacity, is they've gotten close, and they've teased you with their potential. Justin Herbert has teased you with his ceiling, but in the big moments, they fold like a Christmas tree. Or fold like a cheap tent. I guess Christmas trees don't fold. But they're lighting up teams like Christmas trees with this offense. I mean, again, right now the Chargers on the offensive line, they're a mash unit. It's Joe Alt at left tackle and not a whole lot else. Pipkins was in and out of this game. The interior is not grading out well. 36 pressures, 5 sacks. Justin Herbert was getting pummeled all game long. But in the big moments, the Chargers saw an advantage that they were able to exploit, which puts them in scoring territory. And then that was all Justin Herbert right there. Nothing about that game-tying touchdown was planned, was coordinated. It was just Justin Herbert making a play, figuring out how to win a football game. And that's something that is really scary if you are a Bills fan or a Ravens fan or a Chiefs fan or any other team in the NFL, because the upside for Justin Herbert has always been there. We've been tantalized by it for years, but it just hasn't gotten across the finish line. Maybe they have figured out. Maybe it's Keenan Allen. Maybe that's the reason why that's unlocked this confidence in the fourth quarter. He's like a warm glass of milk on a cold night, just a cozy security blanket for Justin Herbert to be able to rely on in these big moments, because it's certainly not the offensive line. I don't think it's the running game. Najee Harris is out for the year. It's going to be a rookie of Marion Hampton carrying the load. I wouldn't bet I wouldn't bet Justin Herbert to win MVP. I think the bet you make right now, if you don't have a Chargers AFC West ticket, maybe that's one way to look at it, because it does kind of seem like this is their year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs pull a rabbit out of their hat as well. I think Jim Harbaugh to win Coach of the Year is an intriguing bet. I think if I was going to make one bet from the tape that I watched today and from what I've seen with the Chargers so far this season, and maybe with the floor of where the Colts might be if Daniel Jones can't keep this up, I think it would be Jim Harbaugh to win Coach of the Year. Now, the knock on Harbaugh right now is the win total was too high going into the year. Usually you would prefer a lower win total like a Colts, which was 7.5, or I think even 6.5, and then a team winning 11, 12, 13, or like Minnesota last year, 14 games for Kevin O'Connell. But Harbaugh was 9.5. So if they win 13 or 14 games, I think then you could make the case that Jim Harbaugh is going to be Coach of the Year, but a lot of that is dependent on what the Colts do and if Daniel Jones can keep this up. But I applaud you, Justin Herbert. Again, when I'm wrong, I will get on the horn, watch the tape, and I will tip my cap to greatness. And right now, especially in the fourth quarter, the Chargers look pretty darn great.